Relax. This is a breath that you can do anytime, anywhere. Very good. Start increasing the pace a little bit if you can.
Sounds like I'm making love.
Welcome back to the zoo. We got a special guest. He's my homeboy, Lane Carlson. Dude, he's behind an amazing documentary series called What's Your Medicine? And he's also basically immersed himself in a lot of the different modalities, the different, self-realization, self-help, spirituality. Breathwork is kind of his forte. I've taken his breathwork class, and it's amazing. Actually, twice, Lane. Twice. I was going to take it again.
Yes. Counting, yeah.
Hey, a lot of times I'm driving to the office, and I do not want to be doing breathwork in the car. I will pass out and I'll crash, okay? But talk to us, first of all, talk to us about What's Your Medicine, like why'd you start it and how you immerse yourself in all these things.
What's Your Medicine really stemmed from my own experience. It was 12 years ago, going through my first experience with ayahuasca, and then I started experiencing all these different natural healing modalities, specifically from around the world. And I wanted to share the story. I wanted to share from specifically a lot of people from where I'm from, in the Midwest, what this all is. And so I started filming these different episodes of all these different practitioners, different healers from around the world, just to share my story and to open the world up to all these various different healing modalities, but that are natural and that are actually good for your body. So that's where all this stemmed from. And so I started the series, started filming these different episodes, and it was fun because it was my own journey too, through all of these experiences, and I got to share my experience to the world. But then more importantly, it's just to open people up to what else is out there. I think specifically for myself, when I first started this journey, I knew nobody in the psychedelic world. No one had ever tried any of these. No one was doing breathwork meditation in my family. And so I didn't have the access and information. Now with the internet, now we've got more opportunities to go find that. And so I just wanted to go show other people what else is out there.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, and I did a deep dive on you. I know you also used to be a model, and you did something that models didn't do. You spoke at the UN.
Yeah.
What was that experience like?
You spoke at the UN? Why didn't
I don't know
how do I not know this? That's a story.
Because you've only been to his class once.
That was in class 3.
Twice.
That was in the 3rd class, yeah.
Yeah, so I co-founded a charity called Sunflower Children. And so this was back when I lived in New York, and I worked in this charity for 6 years. And I spoke at the UN, and this was around one of our projects that we had. And so we had 24 programs in 16 countries at one time. It was a lot of work. I was younger at that time. I had a lot more energy. But yeah, so I was just speaking on one of our initiatives there at the UN around how we can bring more money to it was specifically a project that we had in Cambodia at that time.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's funny enough, we just did a sunflower, so my charity is called Sunflower Children. One of our friends, Mateo, just did an NFT around the sunflower child that's saving the world. And this was money that we were able to then gather to bring to, it's a charity called Magna that I used to partner with back in the day. And so we were able to bring money and support to people on the front line in Ukraine, specifically the women and children, to help support them. So it was this big first full circle moment of this Sunflower Children, which was our old charity, now the Sunflower Child NFT, raising money for the kids in Ukraine.
And a little cross promotion, you can actually check out Mateo Santoro on the Check It Out podcast. We shot
He's amazing.
A few months ago talking about NFTs.
Yeah.
Okay, so we actually met, I don't know if it was the first time we met, but we got to know each other at an ayahuasca ceremony.
Yeah.
Both of us were having a hard time with it.
That's the first time you guys met?
Well, it might have been the first time we met, but I know it was the first time that we were connected.
Oh, okay,
and
for sure.
we were having a hard time with it. But as always with experiences like that, we thought that's what we needed that night.
Yeah.
So talk to me a little bit about how a lot of these spiritual modalities, medicine work, they're hard, they're difficult, and what you get out of them on the other side.
Yeah, I think this is what I always preach is oftentimes your biggest breakthroughs in life happen when you face that edge or the darkness. So instead of hiding and retracting, going back to your safe spot, go explore that, go see what that is. And I think that's what a lot of psychedelics can do for you.
And breathwork.
And breathwork. It opens you up to that opportunity of this is a dark spot in my life, or this is where I have my challenges. This is the opportunity for me to grow. So it's when we face our edge and we really push ourselves through that edge and see the darkness. That's where we have our breakthroughs. That's where the light comes in. So, and I think we both experienced it specifically in that ayahuasca ceremony. We were having a very difficult time. It's not all pleasant and sparkles and rainbows. Sometimes you've got to face your challenges, and just like life. You know, we're going to be faced and we're going to be thrown challenges every single day. It's how we react to it. You know, we can, again, go back to your safe spot and probably not going to grow too much, or you can face it and see where that goes.
So are you guys familiar with breathwork? I mean, you said you've done Kundalini. And
I've
that's
done
a big part.
Kundalini
Okay,
once.
so I'm sure that there was a breathwork aspect to that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But I feel like even then, like I have a lot more to learn from it. I know that when I was in high school, they were starting to implement like mindset or mindfulness classes.
Nice.
And so it'd be like some breath work, but of course now there's different types of breath work, you know. So I've never really fully learned or necessarily dived into that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've sucked helium, but it's really about I'd like to do a little bit more.
Panic in the
I'm
car
a mess,
sometimes.
so I would like to do more breathing.
I'll tell you what, when I've done breathwork with him and in certain other, Kundalini classes that focus on a little bit, so you get high.
It's
Naturally.
intense. I didn't know it was
so
like that.
if you don't want to do psychedelic medicines, and there's another word that other people use, the D word. That's not that. But if you want to do that to get high, it's one thing. You can do it naturally with breathwork. So explain the science behind it and what you're doing when you take people through the breathwork.
Yeah, you get high on your own supply.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that's really what it is. I think a lot of people, they want to do this spiritual bypass and use psychedelics to get there, but you can get there more that euphoric state with breath work as well. And so think about it this way, you're opening up new neurological pathways with that breath work as well. We're starting to increase blood flow to the body. We're releasing toxins from our body, doing this. Great for releasing weight actually as well, increasing better mood, releasing stress, depression, anxiety. So there's really so many great benefits to breath work. And so that's why a lot of people will go to this. You can do some rapid breathing and then all of a sudden have these breath holds and you feel like you're in a psychedelic experience because you're experiencing this more euphoric state. And maybe we'll have some time, we can do a little bit here.
All right, we're going to take a break. We're going to come right back with the man behind What's Your Medicine, Brother Lane Carlson, right here on the Zoom.
All right, we're back with the amazing Lane Carlson, who's telling us all about breath work. And I love that you guys went to Burning Man together, and we've been lucky enough to meet a lot of Umbi's friends from Burning Man.
They're all coming on the Zoom.
Is there anybody in this crew that's ugly? I have to ask.
Yeah.
Like, do you need headshots?
We have a casting, so we have a casting call to see if you can be part of
It
our
seems
friends.
like it. I mean, you guys are like the Avengers of spirituality.
You guys
I mean,
are making it. It's okay, yes.
You're too kind.
So when you guys do an experience like
part of
that,
the
like when you do
Yes,
ayahuasca,
you're
do you
in.
feel like you're bonded for life? Like, do you bond with the people?
Sure.
Absolutely, yeah. There's something that happens. You have a nice family unit, especially after a weekend of being together. In that environment, everybody's going through their releases, and it's the big therapy session, and then everybody comes together towards the end. So there usually is a shared experience within that group that people can bond on, and that they've had this now awakening, and we've all done this together. Just like the zoo, we're here together. Like, I'll remember this. This is a great moment. Imagine that times 20.
After seeing this crew, we want to go to the next
Yeah,
Burning
come on
Man.
in.
Count
Well,
us in.
because we have a friend and they share holding space responsibilities.
Side effect.
But he's really good at what we call angeling. So if you're having a hard time on ayahuasca, like this is the guy that usually comes over and helps out. And you've helped out friends of ours like for entire nights. You just like wasping sage on these people as they're having a very visceral experience. So he's a very comforting guy. It's funny because you're from the Midwest and you hold down that Minnesotan thing. You know what I'm saying?
What is that?
Minnesota.
Good Midwestern, they're grounded, they're
Okay.
practical, it's common sense,
They
right?
wear Patagonia.
So a lot of the spirituality stuff is a little woo-woo for them, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
And so I think it's kind of cool the way you kind of immerse yourself in this world. He's also, for like a white guy, he goes to like Latin America, he's developing land in Costa Rica, he kind of knows Spanish here and there, or maybe you call me amigo and I figure that you know Spanish. So it's cool that you're bringing, because a lot of times, you think of the spiritual community and you think of people that are maybe like, hippies and very West Coast and very of that world, and you have this, and you have your beads and you have your Burning Man outfit, but you have this Midwestern practicality. Is it because you think that the spiritual world could use a little bit of that practicality, or you're trying to bring the spiritual world back to Minnesota, or a little bit of both?
A little bit of both. I would say, you have to have the ability to go there and play in the psychedelic and into the gods or whatever you believe in, but then also be grounded. It has to be practical for people to understand. I feel like, just like life, if we get lost into the fluff of everything and everything's great and sparkles and rainbows, but, in reality, we still have to get things done. We have to go to work. We have to, make it practical. And that's what I like to do with the psychedelics. Is my brother going to understand this? Is my dad going to understand this? Can I make this relatable to them from the Midwest? So a lot of the work that I teach and a lot of the work that I do is I make it easy for people to understand, make it practical. I don't want you to get lost in what I'm trying to tell you. Just do the work. And so that's what I wanted to do. They have that show, what was it? Will This Work in Peoria, Illinois?
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what it is. Can we get, just common people to get this and understand this? And a lot of the Midwest are that. They're like, they don't have time for BS. And I think a lot of the spiritual world can get too woo-woo. And people don't have time for that. They just like, tell me how it is. I want to experience this. And also just don't talk over my head. Can I relate to this? And can I relate to this person?
That's incredible.
That's where we're going. This
That's
is where
unheard of right now.
Well,
Yeah.
but it's kind of cool that we can even talk about this because, you guys have heard me mention, ayahuasca and stuff like that. A lot of our guests that come, they'll mention it. It's cool that we can talk about this, and it's getting much more accepted. Talking even to my family back home, not that they're gonna do it, but they're a little bit more open, accepting that I'm gonna have these experiences and talk about, the results of them. Where are we in the fight to get, because obviously it was a big victory to get cannabis legalized. Are you involved in the fight to get psilocybin and ayahuasca, completely, I hate to use the word legalized, but I guess that's what it is.
It's going to happen. I'm not on the front lines as far as legalizing it, but what I do is promote it. And so I support it. And I support it in a way where it's safe for people to do it if they want to do it. Again, practical. And I think that's what was lost in the 60s and 70s, this war on drugs, it was, Timothy Leary being the most dangerous man in the world, where it had a sense of being abused and people weren't ready for it, and it was almost this, just kind of this eruption of it. Whereas now people are understanding it is a medicine, it's not a drug, and how we use this properly. And being stewards of the medicine, especially those that are facilitating the medicine. So use it with reverence. And so that's what we're experiencing a lot more is people understanding the powers behind this and how to use it. And I think that's why governments, that's why officials now, enough people that are in powerful positions have used psychedelics. I think that's where we're at. They're like, okay, this isn't that bad. This isn't what my grandparents and my mom and dad have told me. This is not going to make me crazy. If anything, this is making my life better.
But like you said, use it with reverence. Now, circling back, because we're getting to the end now of the block, circling back to breathwork, for people that don't want to have to use psychedelics or afraid of it, or just maybe they have their reasons, they're maybe a little old school in their attitudes and mentalities towards it, breathwork is something that can get you a similar experience. So we're going to go out on a breathwork class with you. Before we start, I want to say follow him on Instagram at What's Your Medicine?
At Carlson Lane. You'll
At
find
Carlson
everything.
Lane.
Yep.
Okay, you'll find everything, all the links, and you can see some of the clips from his amazing documentary. And you can actually take his breathwork class on a Zoom, so it doesn't matter where you are in the country. You can find him. All right, man. Take us out on a little mini breathwork trip.
Very good.
You guys ready?
Yeah. Ready.
Don't pass out, okay?
Okay, I'll try.
So find your center, you guys. We're just going to do very simple right here. In through the nose, bringing that breath into the belly. So breathe in through the nose, hand on your belly. You can feel that belly raise. There you go. And exhale through the mouth, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Keep that going. Nice, relax. This is a breath that you can do anytime, anywhere. Very good. Just relaxing the body. Relaxing that breath. Got about 30 more seconds. Start increasing the pace a little bit if you can.
Sounds like I'm making love.
That's the idea. This is your tantric breathwork
Breath,
class.
need an inhaler.
Good. Keep going. 10 more seconds. Take your deepest breath in now. Exhale it out. Hold at the bottom. Hold at the bottom. No oxygen in your system. We're holding there at the bottom. This is the bliss point, the moment before breath, the moment before creation. We're just holding here for another 15. Notice yourself that wants to breathe. Just relax. Take a deep breath in. Exhale.
He should be on Headspace.
Simple. This was what, 45 seconds? This is a simple, easy practice I can do to just relax yourself, get prepared, before work starts, before you go to bed. Just relax. Yeah.
I appreciated that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I appreciate it too. For the full experience, find them on Instagram and take his breathwork class online. Lane, thank you for being here. See you soon, homie.
Thanks for having me.
All right, keep it locked on the Zoom. We'll be right back for more.